Hey everyone, welcome back. You know how we're always striving for that brighter outlook, always looking for ways to cultivate a little more positivity?
Absolutely. It's like a universal quest for a happier, more fulfilling life.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So today we're diving into 5 actionable tips for a more positive outlook, all distilled from some really insightful self-improvement guides we've been digging into. Ready to get started?
let's do it. I'm all about those positive vibes.
Okay, so tip number 1, and this one comes up a lot, but it's for good reason, gratitude. It's almost become a buzzword, but, there's a reason for that.
Totally. It actually works. And it's not just about being grateful for those huge life-changing events,
Right,
even appreciating the small stuff,
totally.
like a sunny day or a delicious meal, a text from a friend. That can really shift your perspective.
It's like that saying, it's a bad day, not a bad life, right?
Yes.
Like, we can always find something to appreciate, even amidst, all the challenges and curveballs.
Yeah, exactly. And, studies show that keeping a gratitude journal, even just for like a few weeks, can significantly improve well-being. Just jot down 3 things you're grateful for each night before bed.
That's great advice. I love that. Speaking of shifting our focus, let's talk about reframing negative thoughts. Gratitude helps us see the good, but reframing, I think, is really helpful when you're navigating the bad or like the not so great in a more empowering way. What are your thoughts?
It's so important, right? And I think it's crucial to acknowledge that, first of all, negative emotions are completely normal. We're going to have them, they're part of life, but we don't have to let them like dominate our thoughts. And so reframing isn't about denying reality or pretending everything's perfect. It's really just about finding a more empowering perspective, a way to look at it that serves you better.
I love that. It's like, say you miss a big deadline at work. It's easy to spiral into self-criticism. But what if instead of dwelling on that feeling of failure, you viewed it as a learning opportunity? Like, okay, what can I do differently next time?
Absolutely. Or imagine a situation where someone's being rude to you. Instead of, immediately taking it personally and getting defensive, you could pause and consider. Maybe they're having a difficult day. Maybe there's something else going on. It doesn't excuse the behavior, but it allows you to create a little bit of emotional distance and maybe even approach the situation with more understanding.
It's like choosing compassion over conflict in a way.
Right.
So much of how we experience the world, it seems like, comes down to our interpretation of events.
Totally. And this ties directly into our environment. So the people we surround ourselves with, the information we consume, all makes a difference.
Yeah, it's crazy how much our surroundings can really affect us, right? It's like we subconsciously soak up the vibes of the people and the things around us. Like if you're constantly doom scrolling on social media,
I know, right.
you're going to feel that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's actually, scientific evidence to support this. Have you heard of mirror neurons?
I have.
So these neurons, they fire both when we perform an action and when we observe someone else performing that action. So if you're constantly around negativity, guess what? Your brain's more likely to mirror those emotions. On the flip side, being around positive, uplifting people can really lift your own mood.
It's true. Makes you think twice about who you're spending time with, that's for sure. Okay, moving on to tip number 4, which I think we could all use a little more of, celebrating small wins.
Yes, love this one. It's all about positive reinforcement. Think about how we train, dog with treats to reinforce good behavior. Well, we're not so different, right? Recognizing and rewarding ourselves, even for those small victories, it creates a positive feedback loop in our brains. And this boosts our motivation and self-esteem.
Totally. It's like giving yourself a high five, for well done, no matter how small that job may seem. So I'm curious, what small win can you celebrate today? Did you finish a big project? Did you nail that presentation? Or maybe you just, made it out of bed and got dressed today, right? Like give yourself some credit.
Yes, those are all wins.
Exactly. Okay. Lastly, let's talk about the power of hope.
Hope is so incredibly powerful. It gives us something to look forward to, even when times are tough. And it fuels our efforts. It helps us to persevere, even when we're faced with, whatever obstacles are in our way.
It's about focusing on the possibilities, right? And believing that a brighter future is possible, even when things feel a little bleak.
Yes, 100%.
Hmm.
And when we genuinely believe in that brighter future, it influences our actions in the present. We're much more likely to take those steps, to actually create that positive vision we have.
It's like that saying, hope is not a strategy, but it's a powerful motivator. So my final thought-provoking question for you. What are your aspirations? And how can a hopeful outlook, maybe even just shifting your perspective a little, help you get there? Remember, even small changes, practiced consistently, can lead to a huge shift in your outlook over time.
I love that.
Thanks for being here. This is great.
Thank you.
Until next time.